So we've got a lot of speakers today throughout the business. First things first, we're going to have an introduction by Joe Darbyshire, our Managing Director. So she's going to warm us all up and welcome us in. We're then doing Hannah Bridge, who's one of our project managers in the business, is going to be doing an update about the UPM Employer Portal, which you all will be familiar with and use. We've then got a technical and regulation update by Simon, who's one of our technical advisors. So he's going to be giving you an update around things about the cloud, pension dashboard, and some regulatory updates as well. We're then going to have a very short comfort break after that technical update. We'll want to let it all soak in, so there will be a very short break there where you can refresh your cup of tea, things like that. And then finally, we're going to finish off with the engagement team update. So I'm going to do a little bit, and then we're going to speak to all the members of the team. We've got a bit about employer responsibilities, the retirement process, the communications update, and then we're going to have a very fun quiz at the end. So those are the things that we are going to be covering today. Just to know, I will be sending the slides out to you. I know we get that question a lot. I will be sending out the full pack to you in the next couple of days. We are recording the sessions, and we'll be emailing you with the links to the sessions next week in our Pension Pulse newsletter, so you will be able to watch back. If you really enjoyed it, you can pick it up again and watch it when you want to, share with any colleagues who might not have been able to attend today. And then also we will be sending out a feedback form in the next few days, so it'd be really important if you could fill this in on any feedback from the day. And we're also going to be asking for some general feedback about our training sessions and things like that. And there'll also be an opportunity on that feedback form to ask any questions that you've had following these sessions. Because there are quite a lot of you on here, we have turned the chat off just so that we can get through the agenda, and we'll be able to pick up any questions. We've got a bit of time, hopefully, at the end for questions, and also in that feedback form as well. I've got the team here, so if you do have any issues, we'll be able to pick them up. But hopefully you can all see my slides and it will all run smoothly. So that's it from me. I'm going to see Joe. Are you on call and ready?
I'm here, Emily. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see so many people. Well, not actually see, but there are lots and lots of people on the call, which is great, because having you all supporting what we do and working with us is absolutely pivotal to the service that we provide to members. So I'm just going to give a very there's no slides from me, so no death by PowerPoint. I'm just going to give you an overview of, where we've been and where we're going at a pretty high level. So I think to summarise where we are as the administrator for your funds and schemes, we're continuing to recover from the move of administration systems. And I think most of you know, if there's anyone new, we moved administration systems from a number of old disparate systems that didn't talk to one another to a new system over the course of 2022. We are roughly half the clients moved over at the start of the year and roughly half at the end of the year. It's to move administration systems is the most disruptive thing any administrator can do. And we expected it to be bumpy. I think it's certainly fair to say it's probably more bumpy than we expected. And it's taken longer to recover than I think we thought. Again, I think to embed a new system of this scale and complexity is probably a 2-year job, given the timescales we had to implement it. I would expect it to take 2+ years, really, for us to really start to understand everything about it. But in terms of the metrics that we measure, then overall they're improving, and we can see that they're continuing to improve. But I think the feedback from clients, employers, members is that even though lots of things are starting to go green in terms of the KPIs that we measure, it doesn't necessarily feel green. There's this disconnect, between the two. And why is that? I think there's a number of reasons. I think it's this bedding in time and it taking longer, than we'd hoped. And I don't think that's just for us and the staff at LPPA. I think that's also for you. You know, you've got this new employer portal to deal with. Because we've had to implement this in a very short space of time, you know, we're in the starting blocks of where that employer portal is going to be. For those of you that had the other portals, they took years to get to where they got to, and we're only at the beginning of that journey here. So they may appear to be a bit clunky, but certainly Hannah's going to talk to you in terms of what we've got planned to improve those over time. We've also had, as other administrators have, we've had a high turnover of staff in the last couple of years. Some of that is related to the fact that we've moved systems. Some people don't like change. And we've also had a sector where demand exceeds supply many, many times over, to the extent that we've had staff headhunted for golden hellos. You know, there's been lots of staff turnover in the market generally, and that's been driven by the regulatory demands in the sector, like McLeod needing more resources, and just also there's more work for various reasons as well. So and there aren't that many good administrators, and so that's been a real challenge. But what we can see now again is that improving. So, you know, our retention's improving, you know, and we're actually managing to recruit some people in as well that have got LGPS experience, strengthening the capability of the teams. I think one of the other reasons is that whilst what we're measuring is green, some of you will be familiar with what we measure from a metrics point of view, and one of our key performance indicators is our performance against our service level agreements. So they would be things like we have 5 days to send out a retirement quote to a member from receipt of all information. And that bit of kind of measuring the SLA is key, because the receipt of that information, you can often be, particularly on active retirements, a key part of getting all that information for us to be able to get that retirement quote out the door. It can take months to get to the bit where we actually start the clock. And that can explain why there's this disconnect between the KPIs look green, but maybe the experience to the member doesn't look green. And I think we're obviously spinning, you know, lots of other kind of plates with large and complex change. So I've touched on McLeod. I'm sure some of you know what that is. That's a huge piece of work for us as an administrator, partly because we run multiple schemes. So McLeod for LGPS is a lot of work that will hardly benefit anyone, really, I think, is the view of the sector. So the view of the sector at the minute is that McLeod remedy will benefit less than 1% of LGPS members who are in scope. For our blue light clients, it's completely the other way around. You know, the vast majority of blue light members will be better off with McLeod remedy than not. So there's thousands and thousands of cases that we're going to have to look at. And obviously remedy date was the 1st of October. Where we are with the systems at the minute is we're waiting for the LG stuff to go in, and then we'll start doing some of the immediate choice stuff. But because so few people are impacted, we'll come back and look at them. Blue light, we've got a kind of a workaround where we're processing people's remedy real time at the minute. So that's been a big piece, and it's been a year of firsts for us, even with the new system. So for some of you, it's been a year where you've going on to monthly returns, so that's new. For certainly half the clients, it was the first year that we'd done pensions increases, ABS, P60s out of the new system. So there was, it's been a year where there's still been kind of lots of firsts. But there's lots of good things that we can evidence. So as well as retention and recruitment getting better, and the strength and capability of the teams, we can see that productivity on the teams is going up. We can see that the output on the teams is going up. We can see that the quality on the teams is going up. So everything's starting to go in the right direction. You can play a big part, particularly on retirements, around when you notify us of a retirement and the quality of what you send. And the quality, again, and submission of monthly returns is going to be really key to helping us do our job going forward. But I'm not going to go into that into too much detail, because I will start to take control of some of the things that are on the agenda today. Just in terms of some of the other things that we've got going on in LPPA at the minute. So we are kicking off a data project. We're talking to a third-party provider who can essentially plug some data tools into our UPM system. And what that will do is flush out where data needs to be improved ahead of some kind of key projects. And the one in particular is pensions dashboard, which again, you may have heard talk about. So pensions dashboard is coming. It's been kind of kicked down the road a little bit. 2026 is kind of the current kind of date, but these things happen quickly, and connection dates might, haven't been published yet, but might be sooner. So for us as the administrator, the way that dashboard is going to work is that members will log in, and they'll see all the pensions that they've got dotted around. And it's going to try and match the details that they put in with the details that we and lots of other administrators send to the dashboards. If it gets a full match, that's nice and easy. If it gets what's called a partial match, it's going to generate work for us as the administrator. So our aim, in simple terms, is to get as many full matches as possible and as few partial matches as possible. And key to that is good data. So hence we're going to be kicking off this data project as a precursor dashboard, but it helps in lots of other ways as well that I'm sure you're aware of, in that the better the quality of the data, the less assumptions the actuaries have to make when they do their valuations, and that can have a real impact when it comes through to things like contribution rates after valuation as well. So data is key for any administrators, and we'll be kicking that off. McLeod is here, and we've got some further kind of systems implementations to do, and then we're really kind of kicking off on that retrospective stuff for McLeod, and we have to go back to all those cases that for people that fall in the remedy period and scope, and that's looking at every single case we do: retirements, deaths, transfers, pension sharing orders, all of them, thousands and thousands of cases that we'll have to work through. It's just, can't underestimate what a huge amount of work McLeod is for administrators on top of the day job. And then we've put in our new system. We've got a programme of work that's called our ESIP programme, Efficiency, Service and Improvement Programme of Work. And what that's about is really leveraging the benefits of the systems that we've got, not just UPM, but also our kind of telephony systems and other things as well. So we've got a number of things within that kind of project, one of which is automating more. So what we really want is the system to be doing all the grunt work and our administrators to be doing the value add stuff. So we're doing a number of things at the minute. Some are related to quality. So we've bought and are developing a number of different things to plug into the workflow, and they're kind of validations, checks and balances and things like that will improve the quality of what we do. So there's those, and then automation is key to kind of what we're doing going forward. So we've done the first piece of automation, which is to automate refund quotes. And we've got about 60% of the information that you send for refund quotes going through automatically. Obviously, we'd like to increase that percentage. And then we're going to start to look at other areas that where we can automate. So the information comes in from yourselves, it can just go through the system, and we can automate a lot more. And that frees up our administrators to do more kind of value add stuff. So there's lots of really kind of exciting stuff in there that we'll start to communicate on a more regular basis and make that kind of come to life for you. So lots going on. As I say to people, there is never a dull day in admin, but it definitely feels to me like it's been one of the hardest kind of periods ever, but we're just starting to kind of come out the other side now, and I hope that will become apparent to you too. And as I say, you play a key part in the service that we can provide. So particularly notifying us early of retirements and getting that kind of quality of information to us right first time, so that we don't have to come back to you for things is really important. So thank you for being so patient with us and supportive as we've been through what has been a huge transformation. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the day today. It's a really interesting agenda. And participate. We'd love to hear what you think. I'm sure there will be some kind of survey afterwards, so please give us some feedback, and we can take that forward into the next employer forum. That's all from me. Enjoy the day.
Thank you, Jo.